How's that, baby?
Well, you didn't make me go up the other thing.
Hello and welcome back to the beautiful Arizona desert. Today we're enjoying a great winter day out near Picketpost Mountain. Right now we are at the ruins of the Reymert mine, and we're going to be driving around seeing if we can find our way to the abandoned Martinez cabin. And there's some pretty good foundations here that we've got a nice view of. There's my co-pilot taking a rest and enjoying the view. I'm not sure what they mined here, but maybe I can look that up for you once we get back to a computer. Looks like it was a pretty substantial operation though. I can hardly imagine the difficulty associated with moving these materials out here. What, maybe 80 years ago? Alright, we got our shit together. Got a new camera.
I'm all wrapped up.
Your blankie.
Yep.
That's nice.
My scarf.
Let's hit
Ready?
it. The trails on the spur that took us to Reymert were mostly pretty easy, with enough room for wider vehicles like Jeeps, with a minimum amount of Arizona pinstriping provided by the local greenery. This trail is fairly typical of an easy Arizona 2-track. There are a few wash crossings with some scattered boulders, but mainly it's like driving along a well-packed gravel road. After looking around, we followed the Reymert spur back to Mineral Mountain Road. We would be heading south on our way to the Martinez cabin. Once down into the wash, the going is pretty smooth and easy. The only thing may be a few small sections of washboards, but nothing really enough to make the ride unpleasant. Cruising along at speed with the wind in our face, it was still a little chilly, so we were bundled up for what we in Arizona call winter. There was one very minor obstacle to overcome, and an optional obstacle that we did not get on camera. The optional obstacle had an easy bypass, which we opted to use today. Overall, I would rate this section of the trail about a 3 out of 10 on the difficulty scale, and would say it's suitable for about any high clearance vehicle. We may have engaged the 4-wheel drive once or twice, but for the most part, it was pretty easy going. This is the part of the route where the scenery really takes it to the next level. The dramatic mountains make for a spectacular backdrop for this ride, with the short hike to the cabin acting as the grand finale. A few more minutes down this road, and it was a good time to switch to my stunt driver, so I was able to focus a little more on filming. Plus, I was able to get some good exercise chasing her down the trails.
All right, baby, you got your seatbelt on?
I do.
It's a good thing. You're gonna need it.
I'm afraid I may. Off we go. We did come across a few very minor areas that required a little more attention to driving, but they were still nothing that would challenge most vehicles or drivers. The roads continue to be quite easy on this portion of our day, with plenty of room for larger vehicles to pass without incident. There were a few mud holes, and all but 2 could be bypassed. The 2 that could not be bypassed were not deep and are probably dry 99% of the time anyway. I got out to chase the Teryx on foot for a while to test out the image stabilization on the new camera, and I think it worked pretty well. I like the different perspective of the camera chasing behind the vehicle. I was breathing pretty hard after running up the hill after Carrie, but the other drivers were cheering me on, so I had to keep going until we made the top of the hill. And being a weekend, we did see plenty of traffic on the more popular portions of this route. As we continued south, we would also continue to gain elevation, which meant the views were becoming more expansive. I think that most of the traffic we encountered was either coming from or headed to the Box Canyon area, because once we started heading towards the Martinez cabin, the traffic all but disappeared. We made another quick stop to switch drivers again before heading off to find a suitable place to enjoy our lunch.
Hey, I wanted to tell you something.
Okay.
You're very brave. You let me drive a long time over some scary stuff.
Yeah, I know.
Were you scared?
Yes.
Yeah, I know. I know.
Yep.
You did really good, though, being a passenger.
Oh, thank you. You did good. The roads at this point would continue to provide enough challenge so that you feel like you're off-roading without being scary or exceptionally difficult. Both scary and difficult do make an appearance later in this video, so make sure you watch until the end for the good stuff. Driving through this area, you are likely to encounter lots of abandoned mines. They're fun to peer into, but hopefully your sense of self-preservation will make you abide by the warnings to stay out. We rounded a couple more corners and were treated with our first look at a pull-off next to another mine shaft that would make a great spot to stop, enjoy the views, and have some lunch. Alright, well this is where we've decided to break for lunch. Nice hilltop. We'll set our chairs up in that little spot right over there. Just enjoy this panoramic view. After we finished up our hilltop lunch, we would be making the last small portion of the trek down Martinez Canyon Road to the trailhead. This would be the first time today that we would encounter running water, and probably helps explain, in addition to the large amount of silver in the rock, why this location would have been chosen for a homestead. The roads continue to be fairly easily passable, with probably the most difficult sections rating maybe a 4 out of 10 on the difficulty scale, with four-wheel drive being necessary only on rare occasion. The final approach to the trailhead is nothing short of spectacular. We had the good fortune of being here while the last of fall color was still on some of the trees, which added to the canyon's photogenic appeal. The road comes to an end at a gate which has enough room to park several vehicles, and this is where you follow the canyon on foot to get to the old homestead site. The short walk with the sound of trickling water in the background is very peaceful. It is pretty rocky though, so a good pair of hiking boots will go a long way towards protecting your ankles in case of a misstep. There is a lot to check out in this area. After following the canyon for about the first half mile, you'll come to the location of the cabin. There are a couple of buildings here, another foundation, and some machinery. On the hill above, a water tank is visible. Hiking about another half a mile and gaining about 500 feet of elevation will get you to the old mill site. We didn't visit the mill today, but plan to do so on our next visit. Motorized out in. We'll just keep walking down this trail and see what we find. This is a stunningly beautiful area. Now the rock formation here is spectacular. You can hear some running water down there. Got these trees that have got just a little bit of fall color left in them.
It's a beautiful area.
It is.
I can't see a lot of them.
Yeah. You know what? Alright, well there it is. Martinez cabin. The goal of our journey today. Looks like it might have seen some better days. Oh yeah. See, that's why you don't plant trees right next to your house. I mean, that's a mess. Inside the kitchen there. Electrical wire. The water heater's still back there. Sure if this is a barn or what, but looks like it was better built than the actual residence. This little motor back here for generating electricity. You pondering what it would be like to live out here?
Yeah. Not good.
I mean, they've got a stream.
Right?
They've got a generator.
Mm.
They had a road until it was closed off by the Forest Service.
I guess so.
Beautiful.
Well, you have wind protection,
You do.
right? I did notice that.
I'm not sure how this is going to work out during a heavy monsoon downpour.
I'm trying to figure out what each of the different buildings will be used for.
Yeah. I think
When supposedly did Martinez live here? Do you know? You don't know.
don't know.
There's a clothesline.
The stove, the range that's in the house looks reasonably modern. I mean, 60s or 70s, I would say.
That's why I'm wondering if that one is the original cabin with the stone.
Could be. I mean, it actually looks like that one's better built than the
It does, yeah.
other one. Get some video of you making a big jump.
I'm not gonna make a big jump. I'm just doing big steps.
How'd you like the Martinez cabin, baby?
I liked it. I think it's very pretty. It is an amazing area, but there's something creepy about it. I don't know what it is. We've been to a lot of abandoned areas. Something creeps me out about it. Other than that, it is absolutely gorgeous.
All right, go
I
walk
just
by the
wonder what
creek.
happened there. This is so pretty, though, walking along the creek.
Yes, it is.
Especially with the fall color right now.
Yep. Perfect time of year to be here. Leaving the trailhead, we would be heading west in an attempt to complete a clockwise loop on the way back to the staging area. This route would prove to have its share of challenges and detours before we were able to find a viable alternative. And even that proved to be a little more than we bargained for. I learned after the fact that the route we ended up using is called WhoopDeDo Roller Coaster 3.0 by JeepTheUSA.com, and it does live up to that name. I was pointing to this crazy hill on the way past, not realizing we would soon be heading up there because our intended route seemed impassable for our vehicle.
No, we're not doing that. No.
No, you're right up just...
Nope.
I can get it at an angle, it'll be pretty easy.
No, I don't care if our neighbor went up that in his Jeep. We're not doing it. No.
Alright. Oh, we'll just go around. I think, had she known what going around really meant, she would have been happy to scrape and clang our way up that waterfall. Instead, we decided to ride the roller coaster. This proved to be some of the steepest terrain that we've ever tackled, and it seemed like it just kept on coming. Woo! How's that, baby?
Well, you didn't make me go up the other thing. That was the first time we ever slid backwards while you had it floored. Wow.
Wow,
That was something.
that was something.
Wow. All right.
Hindsight being 20/20, the wash route slightly to the east would have probably been much less eventful. I was very thankful for our locking differentials, new tires, and a couple extra inches of suspension. Truthfully, the Teryx didn't seem to have any problem handling the terrain, but I would not want to try this in our Jeep. going up there.
Oh.
Fortunately, after a few more hills on the roller coaster, we found a turnout to the right that was an easy downhill back to the road we came in on. I can't guarantee that where we're going is any better, but we're not going up there. And from there, it was a pretty easy ride back up towards Mineral Mountain Road and the truck. We hope you enjoyed riding along with us on our visit to the Martinez cabin. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.